On today's video, I choose the Mozambique over the Kraber. Apex yeets a death box at me, and I provide definitive proof that Revenant is not bad. Whoa. Hey, wait. You're not supposed to heed. I mean, he's a bad guy, but he's not bad in Apex. You are! Or in this case, I am. My name's Ragtag, the greatest gutter-tier gamer on the face of this earth, and today I set about settling the argument over Revenant's claimed lack of usefulness, and it all started when I was trying to play Stinky Gas Poo Poo Man for last week's video on the most annoying legend of Season 13, but seeing as we are in the shoes of the robot assassin, we may as well take him to familiar territory, where he once went for a quiet night out at the local restaurant, dreaming of 20 eliminations and 4,000 damage. Ah, the plaza, the perfect place to strike down those who are struggling for loot, and if your enemies cannot locate their ammo, perhaps give them some of yours instead. Don't worry, pal, even though you took my legend, I won't let... Oh, wait, I can't make it in the window.
Spotted one.
Huh, where was I? Oh, yes. I won't let them take your life as well. Hang on, buddy. I'm coming. Delete! Caustic! But before we do that, today's video is sponsored by Mech Arena, the only PvP shooter game I actually play on mobile because the queues pop really quick, the matches are fast and furious, and most importantly, it's geared towards the action around how you think rather than how fast you can click. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot to do because as you step into your hangar, you can unlock and customize your mechs with weapons that suit your playstyle, as well as the unique abilities of your armored warriors, which can also be strengthened further by pairing them with pilots, and pilots have awesome bonuses to certain weapon types to boost your damage. I really enjoy the modes as you can swap between 2v2 or 5v5 deathmatch, and my current personal favourite is the control point clash, where it's more than just outplaying your opponents with weaponry but holding the objectives as well. The great thing about this game is that it's not difficult to aim when on a mobile device, and the better you understand each of your mechs, the more you can lure enemies into making terrible mistakes involving laser fences that you can shoot through where they can't, or just simply engage ramming speed with this guy and ruin someone's day. There's also a Season 7 Battle Pass where you can get your hands on some new amazing skins, a new pilot and new weapons, so check out the link in the description or scan the QR code right here to get a free starter pack with $45, a mil-spec skin, 500 A coins, and 70,000 credits to help give you a head start in the game, and it's completely free to play on Android and iOS right now. Right, where were we? Ah, yes. Delete caustic! Except the one in my team. Bonsai Plaza was ours, 6 eliminations and nearly 1,000 damage. My confidence was growing, but if only I'd sat and thought about it for just a few seconds, I'd remember that at least half of my opponents had no guns, but I didn't care. I felt like a living legend, and that's the thing about me. A small dose of courage often rolls like a snowball from the top of a mountain. Trouble is, my snowballs, they're usually rolled from the top of Mount Doom. We approached Solar Array, the home of aspiring snipers. I had my ultimate, so death protection would be mine, adding to my fearlessness. Ouch! Bad time on the totem running out, but this was 3v1 and all but over. Yeah, 2v1 and all but over. Just when I thought I was about to solidify myself as the greatest new Revenant Main ever, the alarm clock was already set on reality mode and went off with a beep beep, more on your trash. Oh well, Caustic, it's all down to you. Our entire team almost 1v3'd by a solo lifeline, which should have been the moment where I came to my senses, right? And remembered that while opponents come in many shapes and skill set sizes, unfortunately, I decided that this particular lifeline simply got lucky, and we wouldn't be holding caution to the wind on this day. 20 eliminations, here I come! Oh wait, we should probably resurrect Watson. I got you, buddy, let's do this! On our way out of the burning ring, eyes were fixed upon us, and as usual, I was completely oblivious to my surroundings. A rampart with a proud defensive setup. I had to flank them and end their camping tyranny. No escape for you, rampart, you hear me? No escape! Wow, leaving the game to deny me the satisfaction of getting that knock. Well, joke's on you because... Actually, no, that's really annoying. We're a bit salty about that one, I'll say that. But I imagine her teammates would be saltier still because that wasn't a solo player. But when we approached the phase runner thinking we'd clean up, a new squad emerged and one of their number was Mr. Stink himself, Caustic. The moral of this tale is that trees make much better teammates than you think, and speaking of teammates, mine were about to hate my guts because as we all spied the resurrection, let's just say our group synergy crumbled to dust, for I chased the fresh meat and my teammates, well, I don't know what was going on over there at all. But once I got bamboozled by Octane, I was forced to clutch this fight or lose everything. Apparently that enemy Octane wanted to thirst my teammates rather than deal with me. The only reason I'm still alive right now, I think, and you know what? I'll take it. But I wished I didn't look at my damage and eliminations because this was when I decided that there was nobody left in this lobby who could deal with the gutter tier, and as round 3 closed, I was the first of us to land in gardens. So it was just as well that the black market had exactly what I needed to take my team to glory and victory. The Mastiff. Glory and victory, eh? Who was that kidding? This lobby was an enigma to me. I was getting 1v3'd earlier on and then crushed in the endgame, but this was only the beginning with this legend, and next up was a game that I would like to dub the Ultra Clutch. The dub bit is not guaranteed. This wasn't looking good. So much for the Ultra Clutch. Perhaps I could revive my teammate and then we'd take them together. But an enemy revive? I don't care if you're baiting me. Not on my watch. There you go. The Ultra clutch! But I wasn't done being the hero that my team did not deserve. Oh no, because as I selfishly swiped the gold armor before picking up my squad, our game would find us heading towards command center with 12 squads left already, which meant that this lobby was full of players that weren't messing around. And then there was me, hearing something landing next to me. So yeah, what did I do? At 360, no clue. That's what. I needed to revive Valkyrie. Wait, you're not on my team? That's the most impressive camera angle on any finisher ever, the leave it to your imagination angle. Oh well, only one left and Octane had the situation under control. Maybe he thought that Revenant was me? Another ultra clutch! Kinda. Seven squads left and the temperature rose across the humid landscape of Storm Point. Tensions had spilled over to a war against the beasts in Jurassic Park and we headed to investigate. While I located an enemy team relatively quickly, why don't we take a moment now to play a game of how long will it take you to spot this enemy horizon versus how long it took me. Ready? Go! Did you beat me? I hope so, because if you didn't, I can recommend that you steer clear of my optician. I really needed to learn how to use my totem properly because getting drilled before death protection wears off and... Oh, come on now, dogs, will you just leave me alone? I'm trying to rake here. Just get back. I'm not beef jerky, am I? We might have downed one enemy, but the dogs were everywhere, and this was a literal uphill battle.
Set you up real good. Come on.
Bat dog! Okay, Octane, it's all down to you. He clutched it, but the dogs weren't done with us yet. However, it was very endearing to see my teammates scramble to pick me up from the dirt, and despite Valkyrie bleeding out on the ground next to me, I enjoyed being a valued member of the squad for once. With our team all back together again, there was little time to loot because the beacon had signaled a hungry squad to our location, and this was a fight I assumed would be easy, but I was wrong. Octane was on a roll now with an aggression that I found both encouraging and terrifying because the end game would need supreme tactics, one that a totem and jump pad could provide, so we could win this thing. Only 2 squads left and I heard them fighting. We had a chance to take this game right here, right now, and all we needed was that pad with a capital D. But instead of pushing the building, there was a firefight outside that changed everything. This was a mess. I had no idea how to play this fight, so if you're on mouse and keyboard like me and you don't know what to do, push W. It's good for you.
Check you up.
Bogey in sight.
Okay, can confirm sometimes pushing W is not good for you, but I was improving with Revenant and learning from my mistakes. But would passing a Kraber for a Mozambique be one of them? I don't think so, as you will soon see. Landing into Cascade Falls, I got the hammer points early, juiced up the Mozam and charged towards Command Center with the R301 ready to work.
Gotta skin them.
Didn't take long for me to feel like the weak link of the lobby, but nothing perks you up like entering the Shadow Realm. The Mozambique finished the squad, therefore it is now a god tier weapon, and it was only now that I realised that Rampart had never left Cascade Falls and had perished to an enemy team. So right now, what would you do, guys? A. Destroy that enemy team, or B. Grab the banner and run? Well, let's see what happened. The answer was C. Disagree in the first two options because I chose A and Bloodhound chose B, so ended up throwing the game. But it all worked out and we made ourselves whole again before heading west to the ring, with me suggesting a change of position to the mill. Teammates were, well, let's just say slow to say the least, but regardless of how you feel about the pace of your squad, if you don't stick with them...
I'm taking fire.
Made it. But where were our foes and how many were their number? Bloodhound had given up on us after all we'd suffered. They couldn't stand the humiliation of getting knocked, and back to the lobby they skulked. It was just me, Rampart, and my Mozambique now, but as we jogged southward through the sandy shoreline, a care package was landing. But we weren't the only ones coming to investigate its contents.
Shut him up good. Gotta shut him up. Just shut it.
The moment arrived, and in the death box was a Kraber, which I passed on for obvious reasons. The Mozambique was the saviour of this match, and now's the moment where you don't know if I'm joking or if I'm actually serious. Just the way I like it.
10 seconds, ring.
Recharging shields. Can't wait. Cracked the skin suit shield. Recharging shields.
As I picked Rampart up from the deck, the ring flooded through us and my poor reflexes caused an unfortunate accident. However, while I take full responsibility for that little mishap, Rampart decided not to heal up straight away, so when I offered the medkit thinking she had none, it turned out not to be the case at all, and the late usage cost us valuable time. I ran to the ring, laid down my final heat shield and... yeah. And what do you think happened next? That's right. Goodbye, teammate. Hope to never see you again, but the only thing worse than being left alone would be for an enemy team to be waiting for me on the edges of this ring, which is exactly what happened. This is where you expect me to die, but things don't always go the way you expect them to on this channel. Okay, they mostly go exactly where you'd expect them to, but I put up a better fight than I thought I would, and I was yeeted back to the lobby. Speaking of which, this brings us to the game where the death box was hurled against the nearby wall. But the most unusual thing about this game wasn't the death box, it was that we had a wraith, and they didn't leave when this happened.
Getting shot at. I'm down.
No.
Here.
Wraith still in the game? Time for some payback. I had to cover this resurrection and occupy the incoming squads the only way I knew how, with a good old-fashioned headless chicken full send.
Wait a minute!
I liked my teammates and decided that they were worthy to accompany me on a rampaging charge across Olympus. But as skilled as your teammates may be, just because you spy an enemy team and grow towers, that doesn't mean they'd be ready for what I had planned. Ego was in tatters and I'd just been given a dose of reality when it comes to awareness, because once again I had proved that I just don't have any whatsoever. But the resurrection ship returned me to the land of the living and we headed to the good old PlayStation 5 building, sometimes known as Hammond Labs. But the ring was closing behind us, and as is often the case, we weren't the only ones headed to the edge of the next zone where only 8 squads remained.
I'm out of blade ammo.
Finally, I was learning how to use my ultimate, and death protection sent me back to the totem just in time, but I wanted a fresh loadout, so cleared out the Havoc R99 for the unorthodox bow check, coupled with the brutality of the Mastiff. Unfortunately, some things never change, and I designated myself the team captain, pushing again, this time towards Turbine, only to find out there was an enemy team behind us.
I'm taking fire.
30 seconds to get inside there.
Good job, Ragtag. You killed Seer, but it couldn't end like this. I had to redeem myself.
Right here.
Okay, we win, GG me, and this time I charged towards Turbine and pinged it so my teammates would know, but it didn't matter because apparently wherever I go is where enemies are not, and once again, I scurried back to my teammates. Enemies above, but the totem would be perfect for such a reckless push. Bloodhound chose a different way out of the game and tried to skydive towards Kings Canyon. Now it was just us and one other squad. Our final battle would be fought at the aptly named Fight Night.
Opening fire.
Maybe the Mastiff did most of the work, but I had a newfound appreciation for Revenant on this day, and while it might take a while to get the most of his kit with that speedy crouching or the wall climbing, for now I'd just accept that we were getting a little better with his ultimate, and that would do until the next time we unleash the beast. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one. Later!